What's going on, guys? Joshua Boykin here. Do all blind people think the same? Back in September, the YouTube channel Jubilee made a video called Do All Blind People Think the Same? With about 6 blind people in that video, and they asked them a series of questions. Want to know if they agreed and what their thoughts on those questions were. And about a few weeks after that, Kayla from the YouTube channel Kayla with a C decided to make this into a tag, which was a good idea. So today, I'm going to go down a list of questions and answer them and give my input. Being blind has enhanced my other senses. I somewhat agree. I'm not totally blind, so I do have some usable vision. However, I do think that because I have limited vision, that's actually made me pay attention to my other senses, especially my hearing and my sense of touch. Because I tend to pay attention to these things more often, I can hear things that other people wouldn't normally be able to hear, and I can feel differences in textures and tactile things with my sense of touch that others probably would not be able to pick up on as well. But that doesn't say that I'm superhuman. I'm not Daredevil or anything like that. It's just a heightened awareness of the senses more so than a outright enhancement of them. I prefer to date fellow blind people. For this, I disagree. For me personally, I will date anyone, whether they be sighted, blind, or have any other type of disability. While I do have preferences, it doesn't necessarily mean that I would more likely date a blind person than I would be to date a sighted person. I think romantic relationships and dating really comes down to preferences and who you like in that regard. Third question kind of piggybacks off the second one here. I am less shallow about my romantic partners. I somewhat agree. When it comes to romantic partners for me, I say I can understand beauty from someone, how they dress, and how they look, how they generally present themselves. But that's not the end all and be all of if I'll date a girl or not. For me, it really depends on the person themselves. How are they? What's their personality like? Do I connect with them on an emotional level? Do I like them as a person? While I do have preferences, like I said, that my preferences, they can shift, and I may date someone who doesn't exactly align with my preferences if I like that person enough. So yeah, I wouldn't say I'm that shallow about my romantic partners. Unsolicited help makes things harder. I agree. When I'm out trying to do something and someone comes up and grabs me or tries to help me when I didn't ask them for their help, it can really throw me off. In their attempt to help, it can actually be the most unhelpful thing ever. It's like when you're trying to go somewhere and someone comes to grab you, or they start saying things and telling you directions and telling us they don't even know where you actually want to go, but they try to help anyway. And I mean, it's nice that they try to help, but at some point, if I need help, oftentimes I will ask for it myself. So while it's okay to come up and offer help, I shouldn't be required to take it. And sometimes it's better to just leave me be and let me go about my business without trying to help. Like I said, just have people come up to you randomly and offer help or assistance when you don't need it or don't want it. It just really can throw you off, and it can make life difficult. The city I live in is accessible to me. I somewhat agree. I don't live in a big city. I currently live in the suburbs, but my city has pretty good transportation, pretty good public transportation and subway, buses. So it's pretty easy to get around if I need to, and to go places and do things independently if I want. Now, why this isn't fully agree is I somewhat agree because the bus stops from where I live to get to them can be quite a distance, and sometimes it's not feasible to walk to them. So oftentimes I'd have to get dropped off or Uber there to get to the bus or the train station. So there's some things that can be worked on there, but ultimately my city is fairly accessible. I can get around and do things that I need to, so I can't complain too much. I am offended when blind is used as one of my descriptive characteristics. I disagree. I'm not offended when someone says I'm blind or they use blind to describe me, because I use blind to describe myself as well. When people ask, I say either I'm blind or I'm legally blind. It doesn't really matter to me all that much, because that's something about me that is true, and it's also something that I can't really change. So no, I'm not offended when someone uses blind to describe me. But I suppose what can offend me is if they describe me as blind and that's all they think of me. If someone looks down on me because I'm blind, or they think I'm lesser than because I'm blind, that is what would offend me, not the fact that they say I'm blind. It all depends on the intent and how they come across, in my view. Because just because I'm blind doesn't mean that I can't do anything. That doesn't mean I can't live for myself or be independent. And I'm a human being. I have a personality, likes and dislikes, hobbies. I'm a complete person aside from the one characteristic of being blind. Being blind has affected my mental health. Somewhat disagree. I don't think that being blind has affected my mental health all too much. I mean, there have been times where I've had anxiety or I've had a string of depression, but I don't attribute that to my being blind. I more so attribute that to some of the things that I've gone through in life. While some of them have to do with being blind, most of it has just been what everyone else experiences. Sometimes I have good days, sometimes I have bad days, and sometimes those are due to me being blind. Sometimes, or more often times not, they're not. They're from other outside sources or other things that affect that given situation or that given day for me. Yeah, I somewhat disagree about my blindness having that much of an impact on my mental health. I have experienced discrimination. I agree. I agree. There have been times where I've been refused service at a CVS of all places to get a checkup because I'm blind. There have been times where I've gone to places and I was flat out told that I shouldn't be there, or that I can't participate with everyone else because of my visual impairment, and it does not feel good at all. There's also been times where I've had things snatched out of my hands, or people try to do things for me because they don't think that I'm capable of doing it myself. And that does not make me feel good at all. And that's the type of discrimination that I think people probably don't realize that they do, but they do it, and it does not feel good at all. And lastly, if I could regain my sight with a cure, I would want to. This I thought about and I have to say somewhat agree. If a cure or a procedure came out for retinopathy or prematurity that could give me better sight, better vision than I have now, I would probably take it. Because there are things that I would like to experience with full sight, being able to drive and doing other things. However, I say somewhat agree because while it would be nice to, maybe have a cure someday, I don't think it's necessarily, I don't really require it because I'm capable of living my life independently right now, and I'm somewhat content with my life as it is right now. If a cure does come for my particular condition, I wouldn't be opposed to taking it, but I also can't put my life on hold and wait for a cure to come, because a cure might not come, and I can't waste my life away waiting and hoping for a cure that'll come to magically make everything better. So if a cure comes, that's great. If it doesn't, that's okay, because all I have to do is what I've been doing. Live my life to the best of my ability and have a fulfilling and fun life for myself, despite my disability. And that's kind of where I stand on the whole cure thing. If it comes, great. If it doesn't, well, I'll just keep on moving, as I have been, taking steps on life, one foot in front of the other, like always. I hope you guys enjoyed that video and enjoyed my responses. Till next time, I'll see you on the next one.